Historic homes in Maine, romance versus reality. If you're drawn to historic homes in Maine, this is a conversation we should have before you fall in love with a house. Maine has some extraordinary old houses, and for the right buyer, they can be incredibly rewarding, but they are not passive purchases. My name is Jess. I'm a local realtor based in Belfast in Midcoast Maine, and I work with a lot of buyers specifically looking for older historical homes. Why do historic homes hit differently in Maine? Historic homes are all over New England, let's be honest, but in Maine, they're just a little more special. These houses were built for self-reliance, weather, not necessarily convenience. You'll see thicker frames, different foundation types, older mechanical choices, and layouts that reflect a different way of living. That's part of what makes them so special. It's also why assumptions based on older homes in Connecticut or Massachusetts doesn't always translate here in Maine. But why are some buyers moving towards historical older homes versus a newer construction, AKA cookie cutter? There's another reason why I'm seeing more buyers intentionally choosing older homes. It has less to do with nostalgia and more to do with construction reality. Across the country, a lot of newer construction homes have been built quickly with materials and methods that are designed for speed to meet demand. They're also built for efficiency, but not necessarily intended for longevity. That's when you hear the phrase, they don't build them the way they used to. In many cases, it's not just the sentiment, it's materially true. Many historical Maine homes were using old growth lumber from the 1900s. That wood came from slower growing, more mature trees, which means a tighter grain, higher density, and quite frankly, a stronger material. You're not just buying a house, you're buying a mindset. One of the most important mind shifts I see in buyers that are most successful is you're not just buying a house in Maine, you're becoming the steward of it. These homes require ongoing attention. Sometimes proactive, sometimes reactive. Deferred maintenance always shows differently in older homes. Buyers who expect perfection struggle. Buyers who expect character, responsibility, they tend to just love their homes more, and you can tell when they are restoring it. Now let's talk about some realistically framed equity versus value. From a value standpoint, this is where older homes can be so compelling when purchased thoughtfully and with the help of someone who knows what to look for. If you buy an older home that is well located, structurally sound, and even modest updates like improving heating efficiency, modernizing the kitchens, baths, potentially updating some electrical, or addressing some deferred maintenance, it can materially change how the home is perceived on the market. I want to be very clear here. Equity is never guaranteed, but in my experience, buyers who make smart, targeted improvements in Maine homes often see value gains sooner than they would in a newer home, where the price already reflects the finished product. You're not paying for trend finishes up front. You're paying for bones, location, character, and then improving from there. This is especially true in Midcoast Maine, where well-built older homes are limited. Demand is steady, and buyers are actively seeking properties with authenticity. Again, this only works when realistic expectations are set and inspections are taken seriously. But when it's the right home for the right buyer, it can be a very smart long-term decision. Now let's get into inspections, systems, and realities. Inspections matter with historic homes. They matter more. Heating systems, foundations, electrical updates, insulation, water management, septic systems. These are not minor details with minor price tags. They directly affect livability, insurance, and long-term costs. This is where experience guidance matters, because not every issue is a deal breaker, but every issue should not be ignored either. The goal is not to be scared by inspections, but to understand what you're taking on clearly and calmly. Insurance availability, underwriting standards, and appraisal logic can all look different, especially in rural or coastal areas. That doesn't mean these homes are difficult to buy. It means strategy matters. The buyers who do best here are prepared early, financially and emotionally. We're also very fortunate here in Maine to have local lenders who understand the older housing stock that we have available. And in some cases, they offer specific programs for renovations that can accommodate restoration as part of the purchase when the situation applies or qualifies. What are your renovation expectations? Renovating is rarely quick. Skilled tradespeople exist heavily here, but timelines are real and typically depend on your location. More remote means a longer wait time and less availability. More in town, like downtown Belfast, pretty quickly. The best outcomes for buyers are ones that prioritize preservation, safety, and functionality over trends. This is not HGTV culture, this is long-term ownership culture. But when are historic homes actually worth it? Now here's the part I don't want to get lost. For the right buyer, historical homes are absolutely worth it. They offer performance, beauty, and a connection to a place, a kind of daily satisfaction that newer homes often don't. There's also a level of uniqueness that you can't replicate. The proportions, the craftsmanship, the way the house is positioned on a specific piece of land, those details were not standardized. You can absolutely build a new home that's efficient and comfortable with character and charm, but you cannot build the character that comes from time, materials, and history and homes lived in. That sense of individuality, of living in a place that feels genuinely one of a kind, is a big reason people choose older homes, even knowing they require more care. The happiest owners are the ones that choose these homes with their eyes wide open. I should also be transparent about my own bias here. I love New England, old craftsmanship, beautiful historical homes. I myself purchased one in downtown Belfast. It's 150 years old and have touched every room that exists in this home, and I'm still currently working on it. That experience is part of why I'm very clear about both the rewards and the responsibilities. Loving an old home doesn't mean you overlook the responsibility and care that comes with it as well. Just to wrap up, historic homes are not about perfection. If you're considering one and want a realistic conversation with a local realtor, not a romantic sales pitch, I'm always happy to talk. Good decisions come from better information. I'm your Maine realtor, Jess, and I am always happy to walk you through it. Till next time.